You're probably watching this video because you're either a young realtor or at least young in the industry and you are looking to take this industry by the horns and make it an absolute knockout year. And I'm going to teach you everything that I did by the age of 25 in order to sell 100 homes in a year. I'm doing a deep dive on the specific strategies that I used very early on in my career to create those results. So let's dive into it. First things first, and I've said this 1,000 times, but I truly believe this is one of the absolute keys to my success. 80% of my time for the first couple years of my career was spent on lead generation. People used to make fun of me as the agent who would not only not leave the office, but I was always on the phones. I would spend hours upon hours upon hours. I'd get to the office every single day between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes earlier. I would prep my morning, and by 7:30 a.m. on the dot, yes, 7:30 a.m., I would start cold calling. I would spend 4 to 8 hours a day, every day, on the phones, making my cold calls. Because that's what I was taught earlier on in my career. And all I did all day long was call expireds. I would do circle prospecting. I would call for sale by owners. I would call anybody and just about anybody who would take my call. And I would make hundreds of calls every single day until I learned now, in the later parts of these years when I really started to grow, it was spent a lot of that time networking and building up that network, because your network is your net worth, and building up professional partners, people in my life who now refer me dozens of deals every single year, such as my attorneys, my mortgage lenders, my contractors, my barber. There's a lot of people in my life right now who refer me a lot of business. It truly becomes two things. This phone, making a lot of phone calls, and networking with a lot of people. Because, by the way, Grant Cardone says this, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. That's a really powerful statement if you understand that. It's like your network is your net worth. If you're right now being paid in proportion to how big your network is, how valuable your network is. So if you're only making 20 grand a year, your network is only worth 20 grand, okay? So you got to upgrade your network. And if you're wondering how to do that, go meet some people. It's not hard. Google networking events, go out and meet some people, okay? Next thing, I worked 80 hours a week or more. Every single week, it was like 80, 100 hours a week. And by the way, I know some of you probably are going to shut off the video right now because you think that's absolutely crazy. If you want to make a lot of money and you think that you can do that working 20 hours a week, it is going to take you 10 years. You can do it, but it's going to take you 10 years, okay? I wanted to be rich immediately. Everything I could think of had to do with money. And for you to do that in a short, condensed period of time, Elon Musk said this once in an interview. The reason why he works 100-hour work weeks is because the average person only works 40 hours. So it's every year, you're working 2.5 years for an average person a year. So I said to myself, I'm going to commit for the next couple of years, 3 years, because in a 3-year span, I'm working 7.5 years when most people are working those 3. I was young, I didn't have kids, all that kind of stuff. I know you're going to tell me you're going to have all these excuses that are coming up in your head right now. I put in the work. Don't ignore the fact that you can put in the work. 20 hours a week is not enough. Put in 60, 70-hour work weeks, 80-hour work weeks, 100-hour work weeks if you want it bad enough. Number next is cut out all negativity in your life. Let me teach you something. I'm going to do this live with you right now. I don't know what this is going to look like. You go to your contact list, and you're going to look at the last 10 to 20 people you've been texting with. And I guarantee you there's at least one person on that list that you can look at and you know that you should not be talking with them anymore because they're nothing but absolutely negative in your life. I'm not saying that you say, hey, we can't be friends anymore. Just anytime they ask you to hang out, you're busy. Because you got an empire to build, baby. You got an empire to build. What do you want more? To hang out and have fun or build an empire? Right? If you want to make a lot of money, empire's got to come first. So cut out the negative people in your life and you know who those people are. Okay? I had to do it too and it changed my life. Number next is I hired an assistant the second I possibly could afford it. The very first person that I hired as a full-time salaried position was at $15 an hour. I barely had any money in the bank and I had some deals that were going to close hopefully, but I took a chance and it exploded my business. All of a sudden my income went from $10,000 to $50,000 a month with one hire. That's when you know you made a good hire. Once I was netting 10 to 15 grand a month, hire somebody. It only costs you 3 grand a month. You can hire a pretty good person, right? $15 an hour. They don't even need to work 40 hours. They can start off at 20. Hire somebody early in your business specifically if you're netting $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Close 1 to 2 deals a month, and the second you get to that ability to be consistent with that, hire somebody. It'll be the best decision you ever made. The next one is I invested in myself more than anything. If you want to be rich and you're not spending time and money on self-development, like I laugh when people are saying, like, we're having a conversation about their goals or dreams, whatever, and I ask them, how much money this year did you spend on bettering yourself? And this can be anything from a book, to a course, to a coach, to an event, a conference, whatever it is. And it's laughable when people say they haven't invested more than $100. Do you understand that, like, but you're wearing $100 shoes, you're wearing, $500 shoes, you're wearing a watch that cost you a couple grand, you're wearing a suit that cost you $600, but you won't spend $1,000 on yourself, $5,000 on yourself to better yourself? You are the best possible investment you'll ever make, right? I mean, like, you'll spend thousands on cryptocurrency when it's a gamble half the time? Like, please explain to me the logic behind that. Like, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars investing in myself even before I ever had the money. Don't let credit card, not having the money be the reason you don't invest in yourself. Like, you won't invest in a coach, you won't invest in a conference or an event because you don't have the money. You didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you put that on a loan to go to college, but you won't do that for your business or for your future? Where's the logic in that? I spent 50 grand on myself and it came back tenfold. I'm so grateful I did that. Because investing in me is the best decision. Investing in you is the best decision you can possibly make because it will come back in spades. It will come back more than you ever can imagine investing in yourself as long as you actually take action on it, right? I took action on it. And I know you will too. And the last thing I want you to know that really stuck out to me as one of the reasons why I exploded at a young age is because I started taking finances super, super, super seriously, right? Actually, I have a bonus one after this. I took my finances super seriously. I would start looking at my bank accounts all the time. I made it a priority to get my finances straight before I even ever moved out. I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year at home, living with my parents, because I thought it would be stupid to go out and get a rental, right, to rent an apartment when I could live at home for free and save that money. I made massive sacrifices for a long time because I didn't want to look rich, I wanted to be rich. And here's the bonus tip. The bonus tip is, and I know you've heard this 1,000 times, truly change your environment. Absolutely change your environment and set massive goals. So I'm going to talk on both these things. It's like the same thing to me. You need to surround yourself with a powerful environment of successful, healthy, incredible relationship people, okay? And set massive goals. Set massive goals. If your goal right now is to make $100,000 a year, 10x it. Grant Cardone is so right when he says set massive goals because you are the biggest limiter in your life. And if you're going to set a goal to make 50 grand and you screw up and you make 36, right? You might as well set a goal to make 250 and screw up by half because you'll make 125 grand. Set massive goals. Because when I can visually think about making $10 million a year, I'm going to make way more money than visually thinking about making 500, right? Because even if I crushed my goal at making 500 grand and I make 550 or 600, kudos to me. But I'm telling you, when I started thinking about making 10 million and I start making $100,000 months because I'm thinking differently and surrounding myself with different people because I'm just starting to think and act differently because I'm chasing 10 mil instead of chasing 500, right? Your life will change forever. Think massive as early as you can in your career, and I promise it'll come back in ways that you will never even imagine. Okay? And if you take action on everything I just talked about today, the next 24 to 36 months, especially if you get inside my coaching program, which, by the way, DM me right now on Instagram, the word coach. I'll give you 20% off of my coaching program. DM me on Instagram at Henry Eisenstein, the word coach. I'll give you 20% off my coaching program. Hundreds of people have gone through my coaching program and seen massive results, and you can too. Again, if you take massive action, the next 24 to 36 months will be incredible for you. But you got to take action today. All right, guys, other than that, I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.